Hello, welcome. My name is Jessica Pierce, and I am the CEO and founder of Career Connectors. And we are honored today to have with us Angie Ferguson. She is the head of HR for Northern Trust. We are going to talk about diversity and inclusion today. And Angie, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and about Northern Trust?
Fantastic. Well, thank you for having me here, Jessica. I'm really excited to be representing Northern Trust on this topic today. Northern Trust, we are a 130-year-old financial services organization. We've got about 20,000 employees worldwide. And we focus on three areas of business. So we are considered a global leader in asset servicing for corporate and institutional clients. We are also one of the largest and fastest growing investment manager firms. And then we provide wealth management services to high net worth individuals and families. And so Northern Trust, we're headquartered in Chicago, and we've actually been here in the Valley for some time through our wealth management business. But it wasn't until about 5 years ago that we opened an operations center here in the Tempe market. And that's where I come in. I'm actually the head of human resources for the Tempe office, not for all of Northern Trust. But my specific oversight is to look at the Tempe office and ensure that we're driving the appropriate people strategy for that site. We're close to about 800 people in our Tempe location now, and it's been a really great investment to see our footprint here grow locally.
Well, we are thrilled that Northern Trust is in Arizona and in the Phoenix metro area. So a big deal this year has been diversity and inclusion initiatives, equality initiatives. And so why is D&I important to your organization?
Yeah, so Northern Trust, we definitely recognize the strength that diversity, equity, and inclusion brings to all parties, our employees, our clients, our shareholders, and our local communities. At Northern Trust, we talk about a lot our three core values. They've been with us since the very beginning. They are service, expertise, and integrity. And, these values really just kind of set the foundation for our commitment to DE&I. It's just kind of a part of who we are. And our view is that when we can create the right culture where all people feel included, supported, and valued, that we're going to be able to translate that into some really amazing things. We're going to be able to provide that excellent level of service that we want to for our clients. We're going to be able to tap into that innovative thinking that really only diversity can bring. And we're going to be able to achieve some really amazing business results. And so we consider it a win-win all around. And I think, specifically to our experience in Arizona, when we opened our Tempe site about 5 years ago, one of our main areas of focus was to really increase our brand awareness here locally. People knew us very well in Chicago, but we were less well known here in Arizona. And we wanted to ensure that our commitment to DE&I was central to that message and that brand. So leadership, was very diligent about creating the right culture right from the beginning. We quickly stood up all 11 of our business resource councils. We call them business resource councils, not ERGs. We worked with a national organization called Hiring Our Heroes, and we sponsored a fellowship program for transitioning veterans. And then we just got out there in the community. We visited, diverse student organizations, diverse organizations across the Valley. We engaged in, mentoring and resume building workshops and all of these things. And what we found was that that's really come back to us tenfold. We've been able to source, recruit, and retain some really amazing local talent. We consistently get feedback. I'd say, why is DE&I important? Well, in our office in Tempe, it's such a strong part of our culture. The value that our BRCs bring and the level of engagement. Each of the BRCs kind of have their hallmark events every year. The Asian BRC, they go out and they do the dragon boat races. We, participate in the Pride Parade, and then, every year we get very excited about celebrating Latin Heritage Month and Black History Month. So these are kind of things that are just part of our yearly cultural events. And then all of that just kind of adds to the experience and level of engagement of our people. And we're in a very different environment right now. Obviously, it's been a very difficult time for a lot of people, and I've been so proud of how our business resource councils have really stepped up to the plate. They've been so agile in adapting to a virtual environment. And we've been able to transition a lot of these events really well virtually. So, whether it be, speaker series on focus on mental health, rest and restore yoga, meditation practice, whatever it is, they've shown up to really be a part of helping our people through this really difficult time as well. So that's really something to be proud of.
Well, it's great that Northern Trust has such a commitment to its employees and to diversity, equality, and inclusion in Arizona and actually nationally for all of your locations. But talk about specifically some of the ways that you guys have committed to these initiatives in Arizona.
Yeah, so, I'm really proud to say that Northern Trust, we've been an industry leader in this space for over 30 years. We've been awarded multiple accolades and awards year over year um, for our commitment to D&I. And I was just talking about our BRCs and the impact that they make. We just took home a top 10 award for ERG excellence at the Diversity Impact Awards. I would definitely encourage people to go out onto our website or the Best Companies AZ website to see kind of a full list of our accolades. But that being said, we're always striving to do better. So, a couple of things that I'll note. In recent years, Northern Trust added in the term equity. So you hear me talking about DE&I, not just D&I. We felt that equity was really a key factor in demonstrating our commitment to removing and breaking down barriers. We also refreshed our DE&I strategy to really take a look at our overall practices and align it more closely with our business goals. So we take a three-prong approach to our DE&I strategy. It's about driving accountability. It's about enhancing our development programs, and advancing our culture are the three main prongs that we focus on. And, I'd like to just talk a little bit about each of those because they're so important as part of our day-to-day practices. But, around driving accountability, Northern Trust has instituted a series of metrics where we are actively tracking and measuring our efforts and our progress. So we take a really close look at each quarter. What does our representation look like? What does our hiring look like in regards to diversity? What rates are our people of color and women getting promoted? What does our retention look like? So all of these key metrics, every business group looks and evaluates this on a quarterly basis to ensure that we're working towards increasing our representation in all the right areas. In the Arizona market specifically, we track that for our site as well. And we've been quite pleased with what we've been able to maintain here locally as far as diverse representation. We're about 46% women and 42% people of color.
Wow.
And that really goes back, and I attribute to that to all the great local diverse talent that sits here in Arizona, which has been fantastic. And then, I talked a little bit about the second area, which is enhancing our development programs. And I'll speak broadly kind of Northern Trust, and then I'll talk a little bit about what Arizona has done specifically. But our goal is really to focus on all levels of the organization, early, mid-career, and senior level. So one example of that is we have an enterprise talent leadership program. This is our high potential leadership program for Northern Trust. And we have, again, over 50% representation from women and almost 60% representation from people of color. I spoke a lot about our business resource councils and the value that they bring, and they actually co-sponsor a number of development programs for the people at Northern Trust. Our Women in Leadership program, they sponsor something called our Women's Leadership Development Forum. And we've had over 1,800 women participate in that globally since it was started several years ago. Another one of our business resource councils, our Black Business Resource Council, they sponsored a program called PREP, which stands for Perform, Refine, Engage, and Progress. And we've had, over 300 employees go through that, and almost half of them have received promotions or have moved into other roles across Northern Trust. So, that's something to be really proud of. And, specifically in Arizona, in the Tempe office, I mentioned we partnered with Hiring Our Heroes to sponsor a couple of cohorts around this military fellowship program. It's a 10-week program. It was very successful. I think it's initiatives like that that, have given us awards like, top veteran friendly company. So that was a great partnership that we had. And then, in Arizona, we tend to have a little bit more of a junior workforce, and we're looking to groom our next level of leadership. And so we sponsored a program called our Next Gen Leadership Program, which is really designed to help us create a very diverse pipeline of future leaders. And again, very strong representation. We've got 54% female and 58% people of color in that cohort. And then just the last thing that I would talk about is what are we doing to advance our culture? Because that's kind of the third prong. And we've done a number of things through education, through training, and other various forums. We expanded our unconscious bias training and inclusive leadership training, and we made that a requirement for our people. We also launched this really wonderful DE&I Knowledge Center, and it has just a wealth of information, articles, podcasts, book recommendations for employees to continue to further their knowledge on some really important topics. And then lastly, we've held a number of really powerful panel discussions, town hall meetings, small group conversations sponsored by our senior most executives. And we've tackled some really hard topics like racism and racial injustice. And we felt as an organization, it was important to provide our people that opportunity to have this meaningful dialogue, even though it can be very uncomfortable. And so we definitely saw the importance of that. And our executive leadership is very committed to awareness, action, and accountability in all of these areas.
That's great. I love the metrics that you're tracking and the training opportunities you're giving your employees and your staff. And, you had mentioned about, it's embedded into your culture. And when we're talking to candidates, we're always telling them, go out to the websites, look at the awards that a company has won to really start to understand culture and if you would be a match there. So congratulations on that award and the many that you have won for diversity initiatives. All right, my last question for you is, it has been a tough year. So in light of kind of the unrest that we've witnessed this year, have you guys changed your approach to DE&I in any way?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say we've changed. I think our strategy still continues to be focused on the three areas that I spoke about, which is driving accountability, enhancing our programs, and advancing our culture. But I mean, that being said, in our current environment, we have enhanced our approach to these three areas to address some of the racial and social unrest that occurred this year. And so a couple of those examples that I just stated around, the DE&I Knowledge Center, it has a wealth of information on all of those topics, all types of articles around racism in the workplace, racial injustice, all of those topics, and good recommendations for our people to expand their knowledge on that. And then, the panel discussions and the town halls that were sponsored by our senior executives, those were specifically addressing some of the hard conversations and the hard experiences that were happening in today's current environment. But that being said, I think, we still continue to stay focused on the three areas that I talked about. Northern Trust has also done a couple of the other things. We closed our offices early on Friday, June 19th in honor of Juneteenth to commemorate the ending of slavery in the United States. And then Northern Trust has also committed to spending $20 million over the next 5 years to address, economic opportunity gaps that have been created by race, ethnicity, gender, or socioeconomic status. So those are some of the things that we've done to kind of, enhance what we're currently doing.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you being a leader in this, especially in this market in Arizona for DE&I. Any last thoughts, Angie, before we wrap up today?
No, really looking forward to the panel discussion. I think this continues to be a really important topic. I'm very proud of the work that Northern Trust has done in this space and looking forward to sharing more.
Yes, we are very excited about that. Everyone can find out more at diversityaz.org, and looking forward to having that chat again soon. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.